GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Coming to you live from the Gear Network studios in Rochester, New York. This is the JC Money Show with your host, John Cimino, aka JC Money. And now, here's John.
Back again for another edition of the JC Money Show here on the Gear Radio Network. The Open Pack Tuesday, I guess. I don't know. I'm impromptu naming that because I did one last Tuesday and I'm doing one this Tuesday here. Hello everyone, my name is John Cimino at I am JC Money on Twitter. You can find this podcast and all other Gear Network podcasts on Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, Radio.com, Pandora, Bullhorn. Wherever you find your shows, you will find us. And as well, on YouTube, we haven't been yanked yet, and on Facebook.com/TJCMS, you find the video casts of every podcast. Since we started the advent of video casting on there. On today's show, we're going to open up another pack of these NBA Hoops cards. Y'all have been really solid with letting me know about these. Like, for the basketball fans that follow this podcast, it's awesome to see how you guys have been reacting to these. And whether this podcast is 5 minutes, 10 minutes long, or 20 minutes long, or whatever, whether I'm doing an interview with somebody, and even if there's no topic, or if it's not just this, and there's a different topic, like I am going to make sure to break, so that way we can have a pack opening until I'm done opening all the packs of cards. I'll do it on Listen In. I'll do it here. But on this particular edition, we'll open up this pack of cards, but I did want to follow up on something that I threw out there a long time ago. So there's been some discussion about intermittent fasting and my journey with that and how that has helped shape me and shape my body. And well, COVID's helped shape it another way with there being no gyms readily available, but eventually that will subside. But my journey through intermittent fasting seems to be something that people are very, very interested in. I will tell you before I go into the complete story, and I'll do that as a separate podcast because there's definitely more to it than what I will, volunteer here right now. But my story in particular was something very, very, personal, very, very hard. It was it kind of the transition into getting into better shape, especially as I neared 40. And as I near 40, it's important for me to maintain a range, a weight range of where I want to be, weight wise. Whether it's whether I look muscular or whether I look slim, there needs to be is a weight range that I personally have challenged myself to hit. Intermittent fasting has very much helped me through that. So there's a science to that. I just want to bring this up because I know there's a bunch of you that have been asking me about it, and you've asked me about it for a while, and I said I was going to do a podcast about it, and I never did. So I apologize about that. This is me owning that. I will do one. I will write up everything that I know about it, the science about it that I studied on it, ketosis. That's a big part of it. But also what I did, which I think might go along the lines of being a little extreme, but it worked to get me back down to a weight that I was at, in my mid-20s, as I'm now nearing 40. I'm still, COVID aside, and everything that has come with that, and the inability to go work out regularly, that aside, I'm still in the best shape that I've been in quite some time. But I make this now, and I want you all to publicly hold me to it. Hold me to it. I own my faults. Okay? I will get to work once this podcast ends with my journey, what led, where I was, what happened to me. Almost like, a throwback to Project Transformation, Mr. Perez's old podcast, but doing it here with my story, because I know that some of you have asked and you may benefit from it. I talk up intermittent fasting a lot. I swear by it. I had a good friend that turned me on to it, and I saw the results with him, and now I see the results with me, and I'm very happy with it. So I promise you, hold me to it. I will absolutely begin my project, my journey with it, and in a future podcast, whether it's next week or 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, very soon I will have my podcast with my journey. Might get a little emotional, and I might have to have someone with me during this. So I may even have, for the hell of it, I may even have Mr. Perez interview me on my own podcast about it. But there was turbulence that was involved with it, and I'm happy to share it because if it gives anybody any sort of motivation to be the best them, to be the best you, if it is something, if you follow a similar path and you saw my matches in 2011, 2012, where I had that paunch and looked at as Mrs. Eric Emanon would said once, dead behind the eyes, in my younger days in comparison to now. It's a bit of a journey. So I need to go through, I need to recall it, I need to jot it down, and I would like to do that because if I could help just one person experience the same joys and successes that I had, I will deem it a success. So at that, for right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll give somebody from the network a plug here really quickly. Podcast listeners, you're going to have a couple more commercials, but when we come back, NBA Hoops opening up right after this.
Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man.
And the world-famous R-rated podcast is now on the Gear Network. The Wrestling Show with Sleazy and the Fat Man is classless and raunchy commentary on the wrestling business today. Our multiple hosts, including Sleazy the Fat Man, Chip Willett, and NEW owner Travis Canning, give a differing take on news, rumors, reviews, and previews of the entirety of the worldwide pro wrestling market.
We do what we want, we say what we want, and we don't give a at all. That's just the way we go.
Check us out on the Gear Network.
Back again here on the JC Money Show. John Cimino at IamJCMoney on Twitter. Getting the hang of this thing now here. Rocking the Sonic shirt that was presented to me by Mr. Brandon Gorell, my podcast partner over on Listen In here. But now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up this next pack of cards. Again, I am in search of, I was gifted a bunch of unopened packs of NBA Hoops cards from the early 1990s, 1990-91 season, I believe it was. And I am on a search for a Mark Jackson card. Mark Jackson when he played for the New York Knicks, because of the infamous Menendez brothers. They appear on the cards. So will this be the day that I discover? We will see. But, all right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A duplicate already. A duplicate. Pooh Richardson. As a matter of fact, there's a bunch of duplicates in here. Okay, so I have a Pooh Richardson rookie card duplicate. Gonna put that in my pile over here. Magic Johnson MVP duplicate card. We did this a couple of weeks ago. Jesus Christ, camera. There we go. Magic Johnson, MVP, that's a duplicate. J.R. Reed's rookie card, that's a duplicate. This one's not. Harold Presley of the Sacramento Kings. We've got John Battle of the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know if that's a duplicate or not. I'll remember the big names, obviously, but the smaller names not. Sidney Green. Sidney Green of the Orlando Magic. Those classic Magic unis. Tony Campbell of the Minnesota Timberwolves here. I looked at this one. I almost said Del Reed of 26 shirts, but this is Del Harris of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, Milwaukee Bucks. I'm sorry. Joe Barry Carroll. I feel like this is like aside from the two main eventers there, and Pooh Richardson and Magic Johnson, I feel like this would be, in wrestling terminology, the house show with all the mid-carders, top to bottom. Dale Ellis of the Seattle Supersonics. Still want the Sonics back in Seattle. Go Sonics. Byron Dinkins of the Houston Rockets makes an appearance here. We've got Delaney Rudd of the Utah Jazz. This, let's see, this would be his second year. Oh, here's another duplicate. I know this one. John Stockton All-Star card. That's a duplicate. I'll throw that in the pile here. Derek Gervin of the then New Jersey Nets. They are now the Brooklyn Nets. But before they were the Brooklyn Nets, they were the New Jersey Nets. Before they were the New Jersey Nets, they were the New York Nets. Little known history there. Stuart Gray, and making his return, Rick Adelman. You know what? I guess as we do this more and more, we may be more apt to see more duplicates, but I'm going to reach over here just for the hell of it. A nice 2-for-1. Let's open up another pack and see if we don't have any more duplicates there. Or a Mark Jackson card. Or a Michael Jordan card. That would be cool. All right. Next one up. Sixth Man Award winner, Ricky Pierce of the Milwaukee Bucks. Sam Bowie of the Nets. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Here's the first timer here. KJ, baby. Kevin Johnson, the Phoenix Suns. Another team I got behind especially when Charles Barkley was there, and then Steve Nash again. But I would definitely be a Supersonics guy. Randy Whitman of the Pacers. There's that. Moses Malone. There's a name from the past. The Atlanta Hawks. Moses Malone. Remember Moses Malone? Remember Moses Malone? Buffalo, and he played for Buffalo and Houston in 1976 and 77. Buffalo did have a basketball team at one point. John Koncak of the Atlanta Hawks. Randy Brewer, Minnesota Timberwolves. Jeff Grayer, Milwaukee Bucks. Ken Norman of the Clippers. Y'all remember Ken Norman, do you? I don't. Michael Cage of the Sonics. Again, got that logo there. Jeff Malone, Bullets, Washington Bullets, which are now the Washington Wizards. Back then they were the Bullets. Johnny Dawkins of the 76ers. I used to watch the 76ers basketball back then too, so I'm very familiar with Johnny Dawkins. Again, I was a big Barkley fan, so I followed him from Philadelphia to Phoenix to Houston, where he ultimately retired. James Worthy. Here's a good one. James Worthy. This is his All-Star game. I guess they have All-Star cards in every pack. They made that happen. So Roy Hinston for the Nets. We've got Caldwell Jones of the San Antonio Spurs. Love this Spurs logo right here. Classic Spurs logo. And then finally, he made an appearance in the first podcast, but I think his was an all-star card too. But AC Green, the oldest virgin in the world, as he was known by back then. So we did 2 packs today. We'll do another pack next podcast. And thank you very much again for tuning in to the JC Money Show. And that's really it. That's all I have. No Mark Jackson today. Maybe next time. But until then, so long, everybody. Good night now. Flava Flav, a yeah boy for us all.
Yeah, boy!
Hang on, one more thing before you go. Remember, listen to our sponsors following this podcast, as that does help this podcast and this network out in a way that we appreciate very, very much. So if you could just ride it out 30 to 60 more seconds after this podcast is over, listen to those commercials, it would be doing us a very, very big solid. And again, we thank you.
This has been a presentation of the Gear Radio Network. For more, log on to GearNetwork.com.